Suger didn't invent the stained glass window. He simply used it on a scale previously unknown. This entire area is virtually enclosed by a beautiful curtain of glass. The choir, the ambulatory passage which allowed movement around the choir, these elegant radiating chapels are all part of Suger's vision.
And this unity of design and structure became the essence of Gothic architecture. Compare Saint-Denis to the Romanesque churches of the time. We see heavy, castle-like structures with small windows and massive walls.
Next to these buildings, Suger's church, with its delicate, light, glass-filled walls, must have seemed a miracle. For as Pierre asked, how could such a building be supported by walls of glass? Well, the answer is, it couldn't.
What traditionally supports a roof and ceiling are walls. In the earliest churches, these walls gradually evolved into a series of arches and load-bearing columns called piers. As wooden ceilings were replaced by more permanent, fireproof, and significantly heavier stone ceilings called vaults, the walls had to be thicker to support the increased weight and resist the outward thrust. The windows remained quite small. In later buildings, the downward weight and outward thrust of the vaulting was concentrated at a number of specific points. By making the arches wider and the piers heavier, more of the wall space could be opened up for windows. As church buildings grew taller and closer to the heavens, the weight of the vaulting inside and the force of the wind outside increased. At some point, the piers would have become so huge that the space between them would have become virtually unusable. So, to reduce the size of the main piers and to effectively resist the force of the wind, additional support, placed out of the interior space, was needed. The result was a row of buttresses, connected to the high walls by stone arms, called flying buttresses.
We're up among the flying buttresses at Amiens, one of the tallest cathedrals in the world. The thrust of the interior vaulting pushes against the wall high above each of the main piers. It then passes through the wall, travels across the flying buttress, and is channeled through the main buttress into the foundations below. The result of this is a wide, unobstructed aisle below me and this magnificent wall of glass behind me. Initially, Gothic builders weren't entirely sure about their new breakthrough. Chartres, one of the first of the giant cathedrals, was begun in 1194. It has massive buttresses, each weighing over 2 million pounds. The flying buttresses, on the other hand, are rather timid. The builders of Chartres were taking no chances.
At Bourges, built almost as early as Chartres, we see long, delicate flying buttresses that much more gracefully support a building of comparable size. Far less light is blocked by structure. Each buttress weighs only a third as much as those at Chartres, an important factor not only in the appearance of the building, but also in its cost.